talk about everything under the sun. You only live once, so I live my empowered life. Welcome to the charging station. No matter what you're facing, you can join the conversation. Be at the charging station.
What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Charging Station Podcast. It's your girl, Tracy Massey of Living My Empowered Life. I need you to go on ahead and grab your coffee, grab your tea, grab your water, grab your wine, whatever your beverage of choice is, sis. Go ahead and grab that thing, bro. Go ahead and grab that thing. Listen, this is going to be a different kind of episode because, I popped my lip real good. But y'all know, if you've been rocking with me for a little bit, you know that I don't really do like pop culture or political stuff. I mainly focus on mental health, life shenanigans, share stories about myself and my life and everything like that. So this is something that has been affecting me in a negative way, and I had to go and do something about it. I'm very action oriented. So if it's something that's bothering me and I'm like, listen, I can't live in this space. So if you're new here, welcome. I'm so glad to have you here. You can be listening to anything, anywhere, but you're giving me these few moments of your time, and I truly appreciate you. I hope you stick around. Welcome to the Charging Station. If you are a returning listener, hey boo, you know I love me some you. Everybody, I need you to follow me on the socials. I am on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, all under Living My Empowered Life. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, you see some shenanigans in my Instagram stories. You really get to see the real, authentic me living in real time. Now, I'm giving you my authentic self here on the podcast as well, but y'all really get to see like that crazy side of me. I don't know how to be fake, so we not wasting time being fake. But today's episode, like I said, is going to be a little different. If you are one of our peeps living outside of America, you can listen to this and you can kind of get some insight as to what's happening over here. It's really crazy. We are in the middle of a presidential election, and from what my friends overseas have been sending me, I'm like, yeah, that's really happening. And to my American peeps, let me tell you something. Unless you have traveled outside of the United States, like into Southeast Asia, even into Africa, like different countries, they have a different perspective of what's happening in America. And a lot of these people are like, yo, what y'all doing? And to be honest, some of us Americans are like that too. So it's a lot. It's a lot that's happening. So I really want to deep dive into the subject of. Now, this is for entertainment and educational purposes only. I don't know everything. I am not a poli-sci, political science major. None of that. I'm just giving you all the stuff that I have to do right now, with the hopes of it blessing you, okay? So if you hear that rattling in the background, I had to fix myself because I need it. I'm glad I'm not doing video because that was awkward. Anyway, let's get into it. So I want to talk to you all about protecting your mental health during an election year. Now, this can be so very challenging because we are getting bombarded with information, whether it be factual or flat out lies, propaganda, whatever. There is tension in the air that I don't like. We've been here before, and it's very contentious. We've had our current sitting president, who was running for re-election, drop out a couple weeks ago at the time of the recording of this podcast. So now we have our vice president who is running for the presidential seat. We have a former president who is vying to get back in office again. And it's just been a lot of things that have been coming to light. And it's really, really heavy. It's really, really heavy. And it's very scary. I'm going to be honest with you. Now, I trust in the Lord with all my heart and lean not unto my own understanding. And I know that God did not give me a spirit of fear, but of power and love and of a sound mind. But watching all this stuff happening, I'm like, Lord Jesus, this would be a great time for you to come and collect us all, because this right here, listen, I am tired of living in unprecedented times, okay? I need some precedents. I need some precedented times. I need things to stabilize, because you can literally feel the tension in the air. And myself as a Black woman, we tired. We tired, y'all. So let's just get into it. Now, I want to start off by talking about the branches of the U.S. government, because honestly, from what I'm seeing online, I'm like, do people understand like how our government works? And here in America, the biggest focus is on a presidential election year. And y'all, look, I'm just gonna put this out there. We have other elections outside of the presidential election. The elections that really, 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 really shape our cities, our states, our country happen in the general elections in your county, in your city, in your state. Because those people that are elected to local governments move up to state governments. They move up to the national governments. The people that become mayors and governors move on to become senators sometimes. So you really have to look at what's happening in your region, in your city. Because those judges, the lower courts, circuit courts, those are elected officials by us, the voters. And I'm not even going to get into people that's talking about they're not going to vote. Listen, as you can, I don't know if you can tell, but I am like really feeling the stress of this, even as I'm talking about it. So let's talk about the branches of the U.S. government. There are 3 branches of the U.S. government. We're going to go back to elementary 101. They teach this in school. Well, they taught it when I was in school. I don't know what they're doing now, child, because they talking about no child left behind. Leave some of them children behind, okay? Because those children that are not left behind become adults who don't know nothing. And we are seeing this now. Anyway, I'm trying to stay off my soapbox, y'all. I'm trying to stay off my soapbox. But there are 3 branches of the U.S. government. There's the legislative branch, there's the executive branch, and there's the judicial branch. All 3 of these branches create and manage the laws of the United States of America. So the legislative branch is made up of the U.S. Congress, which includes the Senate and the House of Representatives, and all of the special agencies and offices that provide support services to Congress. The legislative branch's roles include drafting proposed laws, confirming or rejecting presidential nominations for heads of federal agencies, federal judges, and the Supreme Court. And Congress also has the authority to declare war. Now, I want y'all to keep in mind all of these things these people are responsible for. That's why it's really important to look at who is running for your House of Representatives and your Senate, because these are the people that create these laws that ain't making sense. These are the people that have the authority to approve who sits on the Supreme Court. These are the people who have the authority to enact whether we go to war or not. So, in my humble opinion, these people need to be intelligent, have some education, have some values and morals, and not this stuff that's like wicker, I call it wicker morality. These are the people that kind of, it's like they're the hands of America. They're the ones that we elect in our states. Okay. Now, as I'm sharing this information, I'm trying to keep in mind of people, my audience, because we are heard in 60 something countries. So I'm trying to keep in mind of the people who are international as well as the people based here in the United States. So if I say something that sounds kind of elementary, that's why I'm trying to keep everybody, keep it on a level where everybody can understand it. And if you hear me pause and looking away, y'all, I took some notes, okay? So the next branch of government is the executive branch. Now, these are in no particular order, okay? But the executive branch. So the executive branch, their role includes the President of the United States, who the President of the United States is the head of the state, meaning they are the head of all 50 states and the territories of the United States. They are the leader of the government, the federal government, and the commander-in-chief of the United States Armed Forces. So they are the commander of our Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, U.S. Coast Guard, those type of things. The executive branch also includes the vice president, and the vice president supports the president. And if the president is unable to serve, then the vice president becomes president. And the vice president also presides over the U.S. Senate and breaks ties in the Senate votes. So this person is pretty important, because if something happens to the president of the United States, then the vice president automatically becomes the president of the United States. So that's why it is key to look at who running mates are, as well as who is running for president. Then you have in the executive branch the cabinet. Now, the cabinet members serve as advisors to the president. And the cabinet members include the vice president, the heads of executive departments, and other high-ranking government officials. And the cabinet members are nominated by the president and must be approved by the Senate. So if you have a president that nominates people that are not really qualified, we have seen that in the United States, then you have a Senate that approves them. Y'all see why I'm stressed? Y'all see why? Y'all understand why I'm stressed? Now, I'm getting all of this information off of USA.gov. Okay? I want to just cite my sources. The executive branch also includes executive departments, independent agencies, and other boards, commissions, and committees. So this includes a lot of people. And lastly, we have the judicial branch. So the judicial branch sounds, basically, it sounds like what it is. The judicial branch includes the Supreme Court and other federal courts. It evaluates laws by interpreting the meaning of the law. It applies laws to individual cases and decides if laws violate the Constitution. Now, members of the Supreme Court are nominated, chosen by the sitting president of the United States, but they have to be confirmed by the Senate and House of Representatives. And these are lifelong tenures. So the Supreme Court, once you put somebody on the Supreme Court, as the law is set up right now, once you put somebody on the Supreme Court, they're there for life. They're there until they either decide to retire or they die. But Supreme Court justices can be impeached and removed from their duties. I don't know if a lot of people know that. And there are usually 9 justices. The reason that there are 9 is because there has to be a tiebreaker. And right now, our Supreme Court has been cutting up. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Our Supreme Court has really been cutting up. Oh, Lord, help us, Jesus. Help us, Jesus. So you have, that's a basic rundown of what the branches of the U.S. government do. Each branch of government is supposed to provide checks and balances, meaning there's a system in place to where one branch can't have more power than the other. And each branch of government can change acts of the other branches. So, for instance, the president can veto legislation created by Congress. The president can also nominate heads of federal agencies and high court appointees. Now, the high court are the courts where you may have had a case that was in a lower court, so something that's happening in your state, and then an appeal happens, or you can petition a higher court to review review that case, and then there's a judgment that comes from the higher court. Well, if the higher court makes a judgment that you aren't satisfied with, you can also petition the Supreme Court to look at your case and make a ruling. And if the Supreme Court makes a decision that you don't like, it can always bounce back to the lower court. So there can be a lot of ping-ponging going on, okay? Congress also confirms or rejects president's nominees, and it can also remove the president from office in exceptional circumstances. So there can be an impeachment. An impeachment is where, let me see if I understand this correctly. An impeachment is where a member of Congress or a member of Congress can say, hey, you're not quite doing things right. I'm watering this down so very much, y'all. But a member of Congress can bring articles of impeachment, and they have to lay out the reason why they want to impeach this president. So there's a difference between an impeachment does not necessarily mean that the president will be removed from office, or whomever the impeachment is against can be removed from office, because again, an impeachment can happen to the vice president. It can happen to the Supreme Court justices. So that does not necessarily mean that they will be removed from office, but it does put a mark on them. In order to remove somebody from office, I think it has to be approved and things like that. So Congress, sorry, y'all. I don't know if you can hear that sound, but it's somebody in the hallway that's like making a whole lot of noise. Hush it. Sorry about that, y'all. So Congress can reject the president's nominees and remove the president under exceptional circumstances. So the justices of the Supreme Court are nominated by the president and confirmed by Senate, and they can overturn unconstitutional laws. So that's a quick rundown of our system. And right now in the United States, it's real shaky. I'm just going to leave it at that. It's real shaky. So if you have been watching the news or looking at rallies or things like that, y'all, it's just, as an American citizen, I love my country. I don't love what's happening in my country. And at this point in time, I truly feel helpless. That's the best way I can put it. On top of seeing things that's going on in the world and things that's happening in my life, it is a lot. One thing I know that I can do, though, for sure, is get out and vote and make my vote, make an educated, informed decision with my vote. So, hold on, got a text message. Let's talk about ways that we can protect our mental health during an election year. Now, again, this can be challenging because the heightened stress and anxiety that can accompany these political campaigns and discussions, you've got to protect your peace, y'all. If you've been rocking with me for a while, I am all about protecting my peace. If it's something that is costing me my peace, that thing is too expensive, and I am not willing to pay the cost. Let me see. I'm looking up something right quick. Make sure you are registered to vote. Check your voter registration card. Make sure that information is correct. Make sure you know where your voting place is. If you are in a state that has early voting, I would highly recommend doing early voting. I wish there was a way that we could opt out of the text messages and the advertisements when we have voted already, because I'm like, my duty has been done. I don't need to hear any more of this. You're stressing me out. If you have mail-in ballots, absentee ballots, make sure you are filling those out. It is very, very important, not just for a presidential election, but also for your House of Representatives, your congressman, your state legislature, your city, your county. Like, just take pride in where you live. Let's see. I am looking for something right now, y'all, so give me just a second. If you're wanting more info about the political makeup of this the United States, I have a podcast that I absolutely love. These ladies are amazing at breaking down the ballots on each state. They are amazing at bringing stories forth that we may not know. And that podcast is Head Wraps and Lipstick. You can find them on all your podcast listening platforms. I don't recommend a lot of people, but these ladies are on it. They give very, very, very valuable information. Let me see. I'm looking for the website where you can review ballots. So let's see. Because one thing you definitely want to do when you're voting, whether it be voter registration, whether it be your local or national government, you want to make informed decisions. So look at the candidates. Listen to debates. If there's somebody that's already in office, like already serving, did you know that you can go look up their voting record? You can go look up and see how much they've attended hearings or Senate meetings. All of that. You can do that from the local level all the way up to the Congress and the Senate. The House of Representatives and the Senate. Check these people out. And I know that it's a lot of work, but baby, when you got people who are sitting in these offices for what seems like lifetimes and they're shaping what is happening in your country, you better be paying attention who's up in there. That's one of the rights that we have so far as of now. One of the rights we have as a United States citizen. These people work for us, okay? We are the ones who elect them. And we have a responsibility to unite together to make sure that they're doing the work for us, not the lobbyists, not the people who donate the most money. They work for us. And I said I'm not going to be political, but yeah, this is some stuff that's been under my skin. I have been voting since I was 18 years old. My mom kept me in front of a newspaper, and she kept me in front of these elections. And when I was younger, I hated it. But as I got older, I understood it. So when I turned 18, my mom asked me what I wanted for my birthday. I said I wanted my voter registration card. And I will never forget the first time I actually sat in a voter booth and cast my ballot for the very first time. I thank my mother for that gift. All right, so let's get into it. Ways that you can protect your mental health during elections. Number one, y'all, you have got to limit media exposure. You've got to set some boundaries of how much news you're looking at and how much social media you are consuming. So one thing that I've had to do, I've had to designate times, specific times for me to check updates, and rather than constantly scrolling, because it was really starting to stress me out. I carry stress in my neck and shoulders. My muscles had been so tight until I went on my girls trip and we were at the beach, and I finally was able to release that. And I was in prayer, and I said, God, what am I stressing about? Because yeah, it's stuff happening, but my life overall has been really good. So what am I stressing about? And he showed me what I was stressing about. It's about these dang elections. It's about all of this stuff that's coming at us. It has really stressed me out. So I'm like, okay, let's pause. I can be informed, but not consumed. And so that's where you need to get. Be informed, but not consumed. Number two, engage in some self-care. You have got to prioritize activities that help you relax and recharge. Exercising is a great way to relax and recharge. And it also has benefits of, you might tone up, lose a little bit of weight. You're going to have some energy. Your mental clarity is going to be even better. You're going to feel good overall by doing some exercise. Move your body 30, 45 minutes a day. Take a walk, get yourself in nature, go outside and touch some grass. Meditation. Listen, Christian folks sometimes get a little heated when you talk about meditation. Meditation is not doesn't have to be spooky, y'all. Now, if you meditating to conjure up some spirits, I don't know what to tell you. I'm going to tell you. But meditation, you can actually sit and do deep breathing exercises and have moments of just gratitude and thankfulness. Like, I am so thankful that I have so far the right to vote, because if you look at American history, as a black person and as a woman, we didn't have those rights. We haven't always had those rights. Look back into the 1950s and 1960s. That's not that far away, y'all. So meditation, focusing on gratitude, focusing on the things that you are blessed with, the people that you're blessed with. Find a hobby. This is a way to engage in self-care. Find a hobby. I just shared on my social media, my therapist has given me an assignment. I had to find a hobby. And there's one rule. I cannot turn my hobby into a business. My therapist knows me very well. So yesterday, as the time of the recording of this podcast, I took a floral arrangement class and loved it. I felt so relaxed, and I felt the creativity, because I'm a visual person. I'm a creative. So being able to create this beautiful floral arrangement that is sitting in my house right now, if you go on my social media, you'll see it. I was like, yo, I did that. I'm pretty proud of myself. But I realized that having that hobby is an outlet for me now. And I joked about my friends getting floral arrangements all the time, but I'm so serious, because like I love doing it. Yes, that was my first time, but you instantly know if you like something or not. And I loved it. So find a hobby, something that you can enjoy that is not attached to a job, a paycheck, money, monetary, nothing. If you like to dance, go take a dance class. If you love Pilates, go do some Pilates. Find yourself a hobby. Another form of self-care is spending time with loved ones. When I'm surrounded by my loved ones, my friends, my family, my sister, my newfound sister, being in the presence of those people, it restores me. It refreshes me, because we can sit and talk and laugh, have a good kiki with our favorite beverages, and just forget about what the heck is going on in this world. Those are forms of self-care. Find ways to implement self-care for you. And don't sit here and talk about you don't have time. Don't say you don't have time. You've got to be intentional about self-care. I understand you might be a wife, a mother, a father. You may have responsibilities and obligations. You're an adult. I'm sure you do. But you have got to carve out some time for some self-care before you run yourself ragged. Number 3, stay informed, but stay informed wisely. Choose reliable news sources and avoid sensational or biased media. Fact check the information before you go sharing or reacting, because some of these outlets are definitely reaching. Fact check your stuff, please. And it's so easy to be on the internet and just hit share, and what you're sharing is propaganda. There's a lot of AI generated things. A friend of mine sent me a video of, it was Kim Kardashian being interviewed by somebody, and they were talking about Kim was saying she was transitioning to be a man. And I'm looking at this video, I'm like, yeah, this don't look right. So I went fact checked it, and it's an AI video. But it was Kim Kardashian sitting there saying the words, but what they did was they sliced different interviews that she did to make it seem like she was in this interview. So I responded to my friend like, girl, this is AI. What are you doing? Fact check your stuff. It's easy to share, but it's not easy to retract. And we all know a lie spreads faster than the truth. Don't be spreading lies, y'all. Don't be spreading lies. We can't afford it. Connect with supportive people. Number 6, connect with supportive people. Again, surround yourself with friends and family who offer positive support and understanding. A lot of times we say we don't talk about religion, we don't talk about politics because those can cause fights. But there are ways that you can have meaningful discussions about what's going on in your area. But if you're with friends and family and you know this stuff is stressing you out, be around people that's going to make you laugh. Be around people that's going to restore and refresh you. Stay away from the negative Nellies. Number 7, I touched on this a little bit, but stay active. Engage in some physical activities that you enjoy. Exercise can significantly reduce stress and improve your mood. Y'all, I can't tell you how many times a good workout has made my mood feel so much better. Like today, I cannot wait to get to the gym. I can't wait because I feel so much better. So engage in some physical activity. Now, whatever that physical activity is, I ain't gonna judge you. This is a no judgment zone, but make sure you're not hurting nobody and it's legal. Okay, I don't want you to get in trouble, and I don't want you to be sitting up here saying Tracy told me to engage in this. I ain't tell you nothing. Don't put that on me, Ricky Bobby. Okay. Number 8, focus on what you can control. It's a lot of things that we cannot control in this environment. But accept that some things are beyond your control. Focus on actions that you can take, such as voting, volunteering, or engaging in peaceful activism. I know that I can get my tail to the polls and vote after I've researched and made wise choices in this area. No more just clicking a button for my political party because all skin folk ain't kinfolk. North Carolina has a lieutenant governor right now, and I'm like, what in the world is going on with this man? Because I've sat and I've listened to the things that he said, and y'all, people are saying the quiet things out loud, and I'm glad that they are, because it's like, yo, what? I can control whether my vote goes to these people or not. And so can you. Volunteering, it doesn't necessarily have to be a political-based volunteerism. This week, I'm going to be volunteering for Elevation Church's Love Week. Giving back always makes me feel better. Always. And I've always encountered people who have amazing stories. And I'm volunteering to help them, but they usually help me. Volunteer. Number 9, and this may be the most important thing, second most important thing, seek professional help if needed. Listen, if the stress has become overwhelming, consider talking to a mental health professional, somebody that is licensed, somebody that has experience. Talk to this person and help work out the stress that you're feeling. My therapist and I had this conversation with my therapist on Friday. Y'all, I'm in therapy every Friday, okay? I am not ashamed, every Friday, because at this point, my therapy sessions help me deal with people who don't go to therapy, who refuse to go to therapy. But there are some times where there's something that I can't really figure it out, or I just need an outlet to talk to someone, and my therapist is there for that. And so with this heightened political environment, I was just like, you know what, I can't deal with this. And so we were able to map out a plan for me to be able to deal with it. And I'm sharing that plan with you right now. I'm sharing that plan with you right now. Along with this, with seeking professional help, lean into your spirituality. For me, and this is the most important thing for me, and I feel like it's vital, me leaning on God's word is the thing that is keeping me afloat, because God's word is true. God's word will never fail. This world can pass away, but God's word is still going to remain. And my history with God, I know he has been faithful. I know he has been a reliable, dependable God. So when this world gets confusing, I'm leaning on him. I'm pulling out my Bible and reading scriptures and studying scriptures and praying and meditating and fasting and doing all this stuff, because at the end of the day, my mental health, I'm not going to break. I'm not going to break in this. I'm not. I refuse. And as long as I got God on my side, I will not fail. So this whole world can go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I know my God is going to have me. Period, point blank. Argue with your mama. You can't argue with me about what my God has done for me. And when I say my God, I just make that relationship personal for me. So lean into your spirituality. And last but not least, this may be one of my favorite things to do. Practice gratitude. I've shared this earlier in the episode, but when you reflect on positive aspects of your life and the things that you're grateful for, it shifts your focus away from the stressors. Yes, this environment is volatile. It is hostile. There's so much going on in the world, and I'm just a small cog in this big old machine. But I am thankful. I am thankful for my life, my health, my job, my family, my friends, being able to go on vacation, being able to sit behind this mic of a podcast. I'm thankful for all of those things, because I remember a time when I was homeless. I remember times of not having food. And to look over the totality of my life and see where God has me right now, I am so very grateful, because it could be totally different. And I know that this is not the testimony of a lot of people. So that I walk in gratitude. And if there are ways that I can help somebody else, I do those things. So I hope that this has been helpful for you. If you are one of our peeps that is in another country and you're looking at all this stuff like, yo, America's off the, America's doing something wild. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. And we need your support and your prayers. Listen, because it's different over here, y'all. And I just want to touch on something too, because there's been a lot of talk about people moving out of the United States. Even myself, I've thought about moving out of the United States. And this was before all of the craziness, the shenanigans were happening. But even if you can move out of the United States, just prepare yourself. Like, research the country that you're trying to move to and make sure you have some money. Okay? Make sure you have some money. Don't be going to these people's countries. You broke and you adding to the stress of that country. Do your research. Make sure you have some money. Make sure you have the means to live where you're going to live. If you don't just pick up and say, I'm going to buy this plane ticket, this one-way ticket to Timbuktu, and then you don't know how you're going to eat the next day. Now is not the time to be making knee-jerk reactions. We really have to move in wisdom and discernment, because we owe that to ourselves. If you don't owe nobody else nothing, you owe yourself to walk in wisdom and discernment. All right. So that's all I got for this week, y'all. We are coming to the close of season 7. But I hope this was helpful to you. This will probably be the last time I talk about politics and stuff, because it's stressful, y'all. I don't like my life to be stressed. But until next time, remember, God loves you. I love you. It ain't nothing you can do about it, boo. Bye.